You're going to do a lab where you track the temperature of ice melting into water and then that water eventually boiling. The main test subject will be a test tube, there it is, that is filled halfway with ice, and it's not right now, but when you get it, it will be frozen with a temperature probe inside. Here's a temperature probe. It will be frozen into ice. You will be taking the temperature probe out of the freezer and then letting it warm up. When it reaches room temperature, then you're also going to heat it in a hot water bath until it boils. So there will be two steps, two things that have to happen to set up this lab, and each person will pick which one they're doing. One person will be getting the probe and setting up their computer interface, and the other person will be setting up the hardware to do the hot water bath. The final setup would look like this. You will have a Bunsen burner connected underneath an iron ring with a wire gauze, with a beaker mostly filled with tap water from the sink over there, not this guy. No to this guy. Use that sink there or that sink there, okay? Not using the little guys at your table. These are for vacuum filtration. Water is going to come out of here very quickly and make a mess. We don't need messes. Back to the setup. So, beaker filled with tap water from the sinks. You will have the test tube with the temperature probe frozen inside, held by a clamp. And you would want to make sure that the test tube is in the water, not touching the bottom of the beaker, but suspended in that water right in the middle, so that as the water is heating, it is the water bath heating the test tube, and the fire from the Bunsen burner is not heating the test tube directly. To deconstruct that apparatus, this is what you will start with. Bunsen burner can get plugged into the gas. It does not have to be completely on, but it has to be on snugly so that no gas escapes. Let me know if you need help with this. On top of this, you would want your iron ring. That iron ring will go into the lower of the clamps. You just put that in there, and then you're going to twist this to tighten it. You want to make sure the ring is directly under that Bunsen burner. You can move this and adjust it as you need to. Next is the wire gauze. Then comes your beaker of water. Now, you don't need to put the beaker on yet if you're going to attach the clamp, because you don't want to knock the beaker off. So the clamp will hold the test tube. It will go in the second one. Same thing, you're going to wedge it in here and turn this knob righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, so turn it to the right in order to get the clamp there. Then you can put the beaker on, and you will have a sample test tube to use to make sure that the clamp is in the right position for the test tube. That will be brought back by your lab partner with the ice in it and the probe frozen. So the test tube will go into the clamp this way. Let's see if I can get a good image of that, okay? And you would use this to tighten and close the clamp. However, please be careful not to over tighten, because you'll crush the glass of the test tube. So you can put the test tube in here to kind of gauge how far up or down the clamp needs to be, or left or right. Once you have all of that situated, you can just lightly release the clamp, remove the test tube, and then wait for your partner to get back with the ice test tube with your temperature probe. You'll connect it to your computer. There's going to be instructions on how to do that, and you'll put your test tube in here, tighten that clamp, and then continue on with the lab.